Alright, y'all. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. I'm just going to go over the homework. Looks like this is going to be okay setup. So these are the cardioids, right? And so notice what you can do is just replace the cosine with x over r, and then you multiply r, you get r squared, which is x squared plus y squared, right? And then we can get our circle form. So remember, the shortcut is the radius is half of the 7, and the center of the circle is half of that 7 along the x, right? You could also go around and make points, right? So when the cosine is 1/2 at pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3, that's 7 times 1/2, which is 3.5. So that's what that is. I did the same thing here. Now the difference here, since it's negative, right, the radius is still 3, but then you're going to drop down to the center being 3. And again, you can still do the same thing, replace the sign with y over r, right, and then you get r squared, which you replace with x squared plus y squared, and then when you complete the square to get your circle, you get the y plus 3, right, which means the center is at negative 3, 0. And then you can also do the same thing with the 1/2 sign locations, which would be at pi 11 pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. Alright, so half of 6 is 3. Anyway, that's what I'm doing. So the same thing here. Now the difference with these two is that they get a little crimp, right? And that's because the 4 plus the 3, or 4 minus the 3, and the 2 plus the 2, or the 2 minus the 2, right? So you got your 4 locations, right? This would be 4 plus 0, this would be 4 plus 3, 4 plus 0, and 4 minus 3. And then again, you could do the half locations for the sign, right? That's what those dots are there for. So 4 plus half of 3 and 4 minus half of 3. That's what I'm showing you right here. Same thing here, except since 2 minus 2 becomes 0, our crimp is on the origin. And notice it's a vertical crimp for both of these because of the sign being related to the y. Alright, now here we have some more cardioids. One of these has an inner loop. Okay, and that's this one. Alright, and that's because when you're at pi, the cosine is negative 1, so you get 2 minus 4. Right, so that just means boom. And again, I use the half locations at pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3, so 2 plus half of 4. Right, so that's why those are there. Alright, so 2 plus 4 times 1 is 6. And then 2 plus 4 times 0, those two locations, up and down. Right, and then at this location, you got a negative 2, which means you plot it there, and then you just do your little loop-de. Okay, and then here's the cardioid with the cosine. Notice it's over here because you got 3 minus 3 times negative 1, which becomes 3 plus 3, so that's why it's pointing to the right. And, you know, you get 3 minus